What's up everyone, I'm of course the Joker, and today I want to be talking about the things to bring to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament and preferably what not to bring. And the reason I want to be bringing this up is because I'm actually going to be going back to some tournaments because, I have been working every other weekend, so I haven't been able to go to my local tournaments. Finally, I actually have a break this weekend. As long as they don't roster me, I'm going to be going to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and that's why I want to bring up the fact of, to you guys, what to bring to a tournament and what not to bring to a tournament, because I haven't done one of these videos and I really wanted to, give you guys some tips and just tell you from my personal experience what really does help at tournaments and what preferably doesn't. So the first thing that you need when it comes to a tournament is your bag. You need a decent sized bag. I used to bring, different kinds of bags all the time, satchels, tried that, got a little heavy on one side. So in the end, one of my personal favorites is just your basic old school bag, something that can be easily compressed so it doesn't take up a lot of space, something that, has an easy accessible way to hide stuff in case you've got particular things you don't want other people to see, and, just something that can be well organized, and that's why I like this backpack. And plus, when you go to your actual tables, you want to have something that you can easily just put on your stomach and keep on dueling that way, or just something that you can hold to your side in case you don't trust your locals and all that, or if it's the first time you go into a tournament, you want to make sure that you can always have access to your bag quite easily, and that's why I personally like one of these bags. Something that's a satchel is also quite easy, but I guarantee with those bags that, if you go to your locals and you end up buying a lot of stuff, half the time you can easily carry that stuff home a lot quicker and easier with bags like that. But then, of course, other than the bag, you of course need a deck. Now, when it comes to decks, I actually like bringing 2 different decks to every tournament I go to. And the reason this is if it's the first time I'm going to that tournament, or if I haven't gone to that tournament for a really long time, and I don't know exactly what I'm facing, here's a little tip for you guys. Go 30 minutes ahead, see what's at the competition, have a dummy deck, if you would, that you'd be playtesting, figuring out what people play. If it's one of your better dummy decks, that's even great. And then always have your better deck to the side that's going to surprise a lot of people. And the reason this is, I know it's a little tricky, and I know it's a little bit of a lie to put on people, but you've got to be thinking for yourself, and I know that's a bad thing to say sometimes, but at the end of the day, you do want to win and you do want to be better, so using their tips and using their advice, and also, figuring out how they play, you can improve on how to play against them when you use your better decks. So that's why I like bringing 2 different decks. And you want it well organized. And what I mean by this is you always got to have your perfect sleeves. You've got to have nice pristine sleeves. And preferably, if you can pick up some sleeves at the tournament that you're going at, have those backup sleeves, because in case your cards get damaged, it's just a lot better. And of course, the other thing you need, and that's why I like this deck box a lot more, because it can hold a lot more stuff, it's well more organized. You want to have dice, and I mean this literally. There are so many different games I've gone to. I've even just by going to my mates sometimes, and they don't have dice around the house, so we try to look at the Monopoly boards and all that. I just gave up and I got my own dice. So seriously, the few things you need is just a few random dice. Any dice will do. Magic the Gathering dice, hell, even that, because this is just to figure out who's going first, second, and all that, and also some counters. And just get yourself a generic coin, because if they've got heads effects and all that, or if you've got those kind of card effects, you're always going to be needing a coin. And I mean, you can do it on your phone, but it's a lot nicer when you do it that way. So that's the other thing you need, your deck and your bag. Literally, those are the main essentials when you're going to a tournament, apart from one other thing, which of course is either a calculator or you can use your phone. There's apps. There's an app called Cyrus. I'm not sponsored by them. It's just the app I use. So you can use your calculator. And if you've got a calculator, preferably have a notebook and pen that can easily be written on. Or you can use the app Cyrus. But if you're going to be using your phone, I might want to recommend a power bank. This thing can last for days and it's a lot better. And will just help you guys out a lot more. In case your phone goes dead really easily, it's always nice to have a power bank. So I mean, bag, deck, power bank, phone. If you're using your phone, you want that power bank. You're using a calculator, you don't need to worry about that. And of course, the other main thing you need inside your wallet, you need cash, of course, but you also need your Konami card, because if you're going to particular tournaments that need a Konami card and all that, I've gone to some that don't mind, but others that do, so make sure you've always got one. A lot of places will actually give you one for free just by going into the tournament. Other places might charge you $5 or $10. Preferably go to the ones that go for free. I know GT at Salisbury, That's the one I like going to. They actually gave me one for free, and they were just nice about it. So, of course, that's the main things you need. And the other thing, it's not a big essential, but it's always nicer, is a playmat. I, of course, love using my Joker playmat, because that's who I am. I am the Joker. I got this playmat ages ago now. But if you don't have these kind of playmats, I don't recommend getting those plastic fold-out ones. It's as decent as playing on a paper towel. It's not that great. So seriously, just get yourself a nice playmat. A lot of places will just charge $20 or $30 or something. But I say that because you don't know what's been on that table, and even if you clean that table a lot, it's always nice to have a playmat and it just works a lot better. So those are the main things you actually need for the tournament side of things. You know, just by going into there, you need your deck, you need your dice, you need a playmat, you need your phone just to be able to calculate all that. But then, what you want to do outside of that tournament, you know, is trade, of course. And there are a few different things that you can bring when it comes to a tournament. I actually like bringing 3 different folders half the time. Now, I've sold a lot of my stuff off, so, you know, I have to re-get a lot of stuff to be able to trade, but I've sold a lot of my stuff off so I can get to other stuff. But, I mean, I like bringing 3 different folders because, you know, one folder I actually use for staples in case of the tournament I do not know what I'm facing. So I fill this with all different staples. I'm sorry about the lighting on that. Have to bring it down to here. But I mean, it's pretty much just basic generic staples that are really going to help you guys out. I mean, kaijus, you know, you want lava golems if you want some of that, hand traps if it's not already in your deck, and you feel that, you know, just by going up to your opponent, you don't know what they're facing, you want to be having something that is easy. And just before the tournament, if you want to change up your side deck just because you've seen how other people play by using your dummy deck, and you know you've got that folder just in case, it can really help you out in that tournament because you're already pretty organized compared to other people. And then of course, if you have already your staple folder, you do already of course have room in that for your keeps. And I mean this literally, like the amount of times I've seen this, you know, I guarantee everyone's seen it, but you're going through their folder and as soon as you find something, for instance, and they'll go, oh no, I actually want to keep that, but it's in their trade folder. Don't do that. Take whatever card you want actually out of that trade folder. If you want to keep it, put it into your keepsake folder, if that's your stable folder, or just get yourself another folder that is primarily just for that tournament, just for all your keep stuff. If you win something that you want to keep, if you just want to, you know, trade, if you bought something that you want to keep, literally just get another folder. It doesn't even have to be this big. You can get one of those smaller ones, and in the long run, it doesn't annoy that many people because the amount of times you actually see with people where it's like, oh no, I actually want to keep that, it really does irritate a lot of people, and that's not what you want to do. So I recommend getting one folder just for trades, one folder for keeps, / your staples that you feel, you know, in this current format, you've got to be having hand traps, you've got to be having particular things against other decks. If you don't know what's at your current locals and all that, and let's say, you know, you've got all your side deck ready for particular decks, but then you find out at your tournament, oh no, there are people playing Monarchs, and you don't have that Mask of Restriction in your side, but you've got it in your staple folder. You know, you can always switch that out right before the tournament. It is legal at local tournaments and all that, and before you actually sign into tournaments, it is legal to do that. Once you are, of course, signed in, that's when it gets a little bit nitpicky. So just be mindful of that, and that's just a little tip for you guys, of course. You know, go into the tournament, be more prepared, and it will help you guys out in the long run. And just by having those things, you know, you're going to be working a lot easier. Now, I say with folders, you know, I actually like these smaller ones. They take up less room. It's nice and crisp. It's hardback. You know, it's really nice. Now, the one thing I want to also say on top of that is you can be the person that brings in the gigantic folder. The problem with this is, though, you know, where you could have multiple small folders and you can just have, you know, 2 people looking at your folder as long as you're watching over both of them, you can trade with those 2 people a lot quicker. But if you feel, you know, you don't particularly want to do that, you just want to bring in one folder, you want to have the person look at the entire folder, you know, you just bring in one gigantic folder if you really want. And, you know, in the long run, it can help you out. But be mindful, you're going to be having to carry around a gigantic folder that day. So make sure, don't bring in commons unless they're OP commons, which there aren't many of. Preferably just bring in a lot of your rares that you want to be trading. If you've got, you know, those commons, leave them at home. I've done it in the past, you know, of where I've brought in commons and I didn't get rid of like 2 that day. I was lucky to get rid of 1, and that was only because of like 50-cent cards. So seriously, it's not worth the backache of carrying around a whole bunch of commons, don't do it. If they really want those commons, you know, you can organize it the next day, or you can organize it a different day, or if you've got a card, just leave it in your car instead of carrying it around so much. But I mean, if you're like me and you just want to be walking around a lot easier, just bring in your rares and it's going to help you out a lot more. So that's my tips on folders. That's my tips on, you know, what to actually bring for the tournament in the way of your decks. You've got to be prepared with that. You've got to be having that phone and charger if you don't already have that. I mean, a lot of locals will have the power boards, so if you've got one of them, just plug that in. Make sure you've got your wallet and card. That's basic stuff. And, you know, it's just going to help you out a lot in the long run. And just by having those few things can really help you out. And just by using these few tips of, you know, don't put a lot of your keepsake wants into your trade folder. And just by having a few of those dice, you can annoy less people. And, you know, just by that, a lot of people actually do cheer up a lot more because they see, okay, this person's well organized. They know what they're doing. And I actually want to do business with them. Where I've gone into some people and I've gone, oh, I want to trade with you. Okay, they've gone through my folder. They've seen, okay, all this is for trade. All of it's for trade. And as soon as I see one card, because there was only one card I actually wanted, I said, is that for trade? How much? They go, oh, no, I actually want to keep that. So I go into the next folder. Okay, how about that one? No, it's actually for keep. Every single one that I actually wanted was for keep. So in the long run, I just walked away from it. I said, okay, I'm not dealing with this. I can't be bothered. Because if you want to be keeping all that stuff, I just can't be bothered. But I know how harsh that seems, but you know, a lot of people will do that, and in the long run, if you want to stay away from that, just use these tips. And other than the actual bare essentials of all your card stuff, you know, you want to be bringing in some food. You've got to get some food. I mean, some tournaments do have food, but just get yourself some nice little nibblies. Here's a box of jelly beans, you know, chats. Don't bring in chocolate. I know a lot of people will say chocolate, but I'm in Australia, so if I bring in that chocolate, it's going to melt in my pocket, and it's just not worth it. Bring in some food that, you know, you can easily grab. I picked Jats because, you know, it's just one of those foods that you can easily put in your mouth. It doesn't make a lot of mess as long as, and it's one that you can easily clean up. And of course, just bring a drink bottle. You can bring an energy drink or anything like that. Just anything that can easily be filled up. If you're a heavy drinker, bring in more. But, you know, that's just tips on food. And it's just as simple as that. You know, something that can keep you replenished, keep you going throughout the entire day. And, you know, I really want to make this video quick for you guys, and that's why I've hopefully been able to accomplish for you guys. And the last thing I actually want to be bringing up, apart from all this stuff, and I will show you guys at the very end how all this stuff can easily fit in the bag, how it's easily better organized and all that. But I wanted to be bringing up this little thing. And I don't know if anyone else has said it before, but do not bring tins of cards to your locals to trade. You see this? Nobody wants to go through this. I've seen this in the past where people are like, oh yeah, do you have any trades? And they bring up this, and the problem with this is I now have to look through all these cards, probably messed them up, and find nothing decent, where it's like, if I go through a folder, it would take me not even half the time of what it would take going through the tin. And the other problem with the tin is, and I only bring this up because I've seen in the past, is if you've got a folder and you've got it organized like this, and it's like, okay, I know what card is here, every card is there, everything is there. If you've been able to photograph it, take pictures of it, that's a great thing for your phone. Take pictures of the cards that you're going to be trading, and if you don't particularly trade, you know of what you've traded, where you've traded, who you've done trades with, if you're really cautious like that. But if you do that with a tin, you can't really do that, because it literally takes a second for one person to take those cards, put them in their pocket, and walk away, and you'll never see them again. And I've seen it happen before. I don't want to see it happen to you guys. I hope it doesn't happen to you guys. And comment down below if it has happened. I really hope it doesn't happen again, because I don't want to hear you guys, you know, of so many stories of how you've been ripped off, how you've been stolen from. I don't like that. I mean, I want to hear your story, of course, but I hope it doesn't happen again. And that's why I bring up the whole tin thing, preferably bring folders, and that's my opinion on that. And, you know, that's all I want to be bringing up. You know, those are just the generic few things you need for your, you know, going into a tournament. Bring your deck, of course, bring a playmat, bring your wallet, generic stuff. And, of course, when it comes to the bag, you organize it the way you want to organize it. Now, I like these backpacks because they're quite easy. You know, I've got room for my deck box either on my side, like this. You know, it just easily brings it up. Deck box, if I really want to get it to the first, here's the little flap I can do that with. And I mean, then if I've got my trades, I just easily grab them, put them right down here, And it's quite easy as that. I mean, literally, if I want to hide anything, like my wallet, that's where I would actually put that kind of stuff. Or if you want to keep it in your pocket and all that. Literally just anything that you absolutely don't want other people to see, you can easily just have your little hidey pocket, and it just helps out a lot more. And then, of course, you have your playmat. Now, you know, with a playmat, be very cautious. I actually don't roll my playmats up. If you roll them up, they'll get creased on the corner, like this one was at one point. But if you fold it like this, you know, it's going to not be creased. It's going to be easy to grab out, and you just keep it very nice, like so. And if you've got that calculator and stuff, primarily you want to keep that close to your deck because you're always going to be using that quick and fast. And then if you've got your foods, you know, just, I actually have another secret. I actually have another pocket here, and that's where I can put all my foods and that, just to be able to grab it and put it in quite easily. I mean, if you've got your drink bottle, I actually also have that on the side. But I mean, it's as simple as that, guys. Like, if you just have bags like this, you can have everything organized, and it will just help you out in the long run. But that, of course, is just my tips on what to bring you to your tournaments. Here's how to be prepared, and I hope it does actually help you guys in the long run. Comment down below if you guys have any other tips that you really like using, and, you know, comment down below what you guys want to see in Yu-Gi-Oh! Related part next time. And of course, till then, and of course till the next one, I hope you guys keep on smiling, have fun dueling, and as always, if you want to check out some awesome channels, there will be links to them in the description down below, as well as you can chat with me on any of the social networks that I'm in, and all that and more will always be in the description down below. So check them out if you want to have a lot of fun, be interested in some other YouTubers and some other awesome channels, and just have a lot of fun in general with the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And that, of course, ends it for me, the Joker, and I'll see you next time, everybody.